Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Subs Podcast. Your host, Harish and Narvin. We're back at it. So today we'll do some Champions League kind of recap of a few games that happened today. Talk about the teams that qualified for the knockout, um, kind of the next phase of this tournament, and then maybe just talk about some transfers that have happened or transfers that we're hoping for still, just given there's about a week left. So
Crazy.
just one.
It feels like the lack of activity is wild. It's coming down to the wire now.
Oh yeah, did you see the big one today? Rumors?
The Duran the man,
Yeah.
craziness.
Do you think it's actually gonna go through? It seems almost final.
I mean, the amount of money is quite ridiculous. Like it's hard to turn down an offer. But I hope it breaks down because he's still so young.
Yeah, and just since we're on it, we'll mention that John Duran is getting looking to be moved to Saudi, get a big move for Villa will get what 77 million
hmm
plus some fees.
I mean, that would be a big boost for Villa. I don't think they've had a big money move like that in a long time. So.
Yeah, I think this would be a confidence boost for Watkins because it kind of shows like, all right, you're the guy.
Did
Like
you
you're
see
the
who
front man.
who put in a bid for Watkins though?
Yeah, Arsenal.
And they got rejected. They said, "What y'all doing? Put in a bid on Champions League date."
Yeah, what? It was like within 7 minutes it got rejected, right?
Yeah, it was real quick.
Something insane. And they offered only what, like 60 mil from?
Yeah.
Something like that. I guess because he is towards the end of his contract though, but still, it was
True.
funny to see that.
hmm
I feel like that was definitely a nice moment for Unai.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like revenge time.
I will say though, I'm definitely glad that we're doing a Champions League roundup today because don't have to speak on that United game of that weekend. That was a snooze fest.
Oh, against Fulham.
hmm
Yeah, at least you guys got the 3 points, but still, it was definitely a poor game. I was disappointed in how Fulham came out.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. They played kind of half asleep too.
Yeah,
I think the most entertaining part of the game was when Traore came on and him and Lissandro continued their beef.
yeah. Um, I love their kind of Instagram battles back and forth. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it seems like I was hoping Traore would get a goal or make some contribution, but it didn't
hmm
happen. But Martinez going for that dirty like
Yeah, sorry.
double.
I was just about to say that on some controversies this weekend and the first one, like you think because this is the second time he tried it, you think like he should get booked even if he didn't make contact with that two-footed challenge?
Oh, for sure. Just because like even though he didn't make contact, just like the intent,
hmm
um, it's like super dangerous. So
Exactly, yeah.
like full studs up like that, you could
Like
really break a guy's leg.
I like Martinez because he's one of the only few that doesn't shy away from a challenge on our team. But yeah, that's kind of uncalled for.
Because when he did it against, I think Palace, right? On
Yeah,
who was it?
Kamada.
Kamada. That
Uh-huh.
one actually looked pretty bad
Yeah.
and could
I
have
don't
broken the leg.
yeah, I don't know why he does that. And then to the flip side, Miles Lewis Skelly that red was interesting.
Oh yeah, because I guess Wolves were on the counter, but like they were still like very deep in their own half.
Yeah, I thought that was like a typical yellow. I think it did get like overturned today or something. So
Oh,
like
when they appealed it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think rightfully so. It should have been just a yellow.
Yeah. But Arsenal fans sending death threats to Michael Oliver.
Yeah, that's insane.
hmm
I feel like that's never called for.
Yeah. It's good to see him back on the pitch reffing today, though.
Champions League, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Arsenal, like if they lost that game to Wolves, it would have been worse for Michael Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like you still can't send like death threats because I mean, there's been teams that have like been screwed over plenty of times.
Yeah, Wolves last season, they were like
Yeah.
screwed over the most.
I feel like Arsenal fans always play victim, like the biggest victims. It's super
Exactly.
annoying.
Oh yeah.
Uh oh yeah, and then we'll just touch on Chelsea too. Uh we lost 3-1. Came out really strong actually first half. Probably should have gone up 2 goals going into halftime, but ended
Yeah.
up losing 3-1.
That City center back, he had a horror start to his debut. Felt bad. He looked like he was about to be in tears.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you could just see it in his face.
yeah, I felt kind of bad.
Yeah, I think what screwed us over is like especially our right side. Vardio, his runs were just killing him, and Marmoush were like killing us on that
Yeah.
side or on
Yeah,
that
Mark.
left side, I guess.
You guys though, I was a bit disappointed with or not disappointed. I was surprised Sancho got the start because I was like, it's time for Nunes to get cooked today by Pedro Neto.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why Chelsea, you guys weren't exposing Nunes. Y'all made it easy for him.
Speaking of Nunez getting cooked, let's jump into the first game that we can discuss today. Um,
Or did you want to hit with
with
the
City.
super subs or?
Dude, I had a nice transition cooked up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
With Nunez getting cooked today on that goal against Club Brugge. Yeah, no, you're right. Let's start with our super sub of just Champions League, right? We'll do that
Uh, I didn't really have a super sub for the Champions League matches. Um,
today. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I didn't have one either, but I'm just looking back at the games that happened today, trying to think if there was a super sub, but
I know who's not a super sub today for sure is that kid who got his debut for Liverpool. He got sent off 4 minutes getting subbed in.
uh yeah, it was good to see though that Liverpool were just like resting their players, but it
Yeah.
was goofy to see like Robertson playing like center back basically
Yeah,
today.
that's goofy.
Yeah, so I guess I don't really have a super sub. I'm trying, can't think of one. Any super sub for you?
Not from Champions League, but the only super sub I can think of is from this weekend, Samuel Chukwueze for AC Milan, getting the winner in a super dramatic game for AC Milan. Um,
Hmm.
and then that game was crazy too, because right after the final whistle, all the Milan players were celebrating, and then Calabria, who's a defender for Milan, him and Conceição had a bit of a beef going on. Players had to hold back the manager and the player from fighting each other. But apparently there were reports that it was Conceição was angry at Theo Hernandez, Chukwuemeka, I mean not Chukwuemeka, Theo Hernandez, Calabria, and someone else for attending like a concert like a few days before a game. Um,
Uh,
so it's one of those.
I guess my super sub from the weekend would probably be Calafiori, just saving Arsenal. Pretty nice hit on the half
Oh
volley,
yeah,
but
good call. Yeah.
scoring the winner, coming on for Lewis. Well, who did he come on for? Ethan Nweri, I guess, came
hmm
off at half and played at left back. And sucks for Ethan because he was having a decent game too, and a good chance to like start. Odegaard was missing, but yeah, ultimately got them the win against Wolves.
Odegaard's been missing the past few games.
Yeah, it's been disappointing ever since his injury because he started the
Uh-huh.
season pretty decently.
hmm
But all right, now we can jump into Champions League, and again, we'll go into the City Club Bruges game first. This was a very big one coming in. Essentially, whoever won this game would get in. In Club Bruges, if they tied, they were automatically in, and City would be. So City needed to win this game, and they ultimately won 3-1. but it wasn't easy, I would say. Uh,
No.
it went down pretty early, and like you said, Mateus Nunes was the one that got cooked again. Um, I guess my main takeaway from this game was City, they definitely dominated possession. But again, it wasn't very effective. And I think, honestly, they got kind of lucky to come out with a win today. I thought Club Brugge played brilliantly to like, they defended really well, and it was pretty easy to defend against City's attack. And like the whole season against City, it's been pretty easy, I feel like, where City is just too predictable, kind of just going side to side. Um, I mean, honestly, the goals that they did score came off of kind of uh, un-City-like play where Kovacic kind of dribbled it from the midfield through Club Brugge whole midfield and scored from outside the
That was
box.
schoolboy defending.
That
Like
was
some
too easy.
someone's got to close you down. Like
Yeah. Um, like while he was dribbling, it was like in his head, it looked like he was like, "I'm still going. What? What?"
yeah, I couldn't tell. I was like, is he just like dribbling, like trying to look for a pass, and just like no
I
one
think
was open? I don't.
he looked surprised himself that he was able to dribble so far without being closed down.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it came off of that. The other one was like a nice penetrating pass to Savinho, who ultimately was like an own goal, but still, it was like very like those were the moments where City looked created the most dangerous chances, you know. And I mean, Club Brugge, they played brilliantly, like especially on the counter. They had a few good chances. Um, honestly, I thought it could have been like a 2-2 game.
hmm
Ederson made some big saves.
Yeah, I thought Club Bruges on the transition. Um, like I know you were talking, we were just talking about Kovacic's goal, but I feel like Club Bruges had a lot of those chances too, where like on the counter, um, like their player would just go right through the City defense, like no one closing them down. It felt like a basketball game at times when it was just like end to end, like both teams just on the
Hmm.
attack. Just I feel like both defenses were like pretty poor. I mean, Club Brugge, yeah,
Who?
they defended well, kind of playing on the
Mhm.
counter, but I think Kovacic, that was the only instance where he's bad defending.
Yeah.
But on the other end, like Club Brugge had a lot of chances where they were almost had the opportunity like to walk the ball into the net, because no one was closing them down.
I think the Kovacic goal, Club Brugge also like they just made the defending. I mean, they did it really well, but they made it look really easy to defend against City. But I think they were just like not sure what to do when Kovacic was driving at them like that because it was just so different from what City was doing.
Yeah, that is true. And that almost goes back to the weekend City versus you guys. I think you guys were caught out. Um, a bit of surprise, like the way City scored two of the goals, like just playing long balls, like very unlike City,
Hmm.
catching you guys off guard. So I could see that like this one was it kind of caught them off guard
Of
as
course.
well.
Exactly. Although, dude, Sanchez, that howler, bro,
Yeah, I'm
it was
telling you, he's the
insane.
only one that's really holding y'all back. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, if I did have to pick a super sub from this Champions League round though, I think Savinho would be a fair shout too. I thought he changed the game a bit more, provided a bit more in the attack for City.
Mm. Oh yeah, and that was Vordio, I think that where they did the own goal. I think it was him that was trying to get the cross, not Savino.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, Savino looked really good when he came
I
on,
thought he
for
should
sure.
have started this game.
Yeah. Even Foden though, he looks like the past few games now, he looks like he wants to play a little more. Like he's looking slightly better. Still definitely not to the form of last year, but
hmm
he's looking a little better.
Did you see the the dig that he gave out to Gareth Southgate?
Nah,
Um,
what'd he say?
he's like, yeah, the Euros. I didn't play my best, but that's because Southgate didn't know how to utilize me playing on the left. Um, and then today he
Bro.
happened to play on the left.
Yeah, I feel like that's just an easy
Cop out.
excuse to,
Yeah.
yeah, scapegoat someone. Because he really gave Foden the keys, I feel like, in the Euros. Like,
He played him everywhere, I felt like
yeah,
eventually because he just put up stinkers.
exactly. Yeah, Foden, dude, I want to like him so bad because he's got the technical abilities, but like, just his mentality is kind of weak.
He's not like considered I mean, he's still young, but I wouldn't consider him like a youngster anymore either. Like he's got so much experience.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, how old is he now?
Um,
Let's
let
see,
me see.
24. Still kind of young, but still. But yeah, again, another player that was kind of absolutely locked down today, I felt like was Haaland. Um, Against Chelsea, I will say he had probably the best game I've seen this year out of him. Um, just the way he was able to hold up, and he definitely did better, like linking up with his players against us,
hmm
dropping deeper. But like today, he was pretty lost, I felt like. And I think I saw some stat like where he only touched the ball 20 times or something like that today.
hmm Least
So,
touches of any outfield player.
yeah, he uh he just seemed like a ghost today just walking through the game.
I thought he had a bit of a better first half than a second half. Second half, he
Yeah.
is completely
Hmm.
quiet. First half, I thought he carried on from his Chelsea performance a little bit with linking up with De Bruyne. But yeah, that second half, him. And then again, Bernardo Silva, I don't, he's just aging. I don't really like him on the City squad, really. Um, and then Gundogan, like, he's grandpa, gotta go.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, I like Bernardo Silva, just especially his work rate. I really like.
Work rate, yeah, he does.
It's great. So I don't know, but I
He
don't
just,
like him. Yeah, to your point, I don't like him out wide necessarily. I don't know if he like Gundogan, I feel like is the stinkiest of them all and should be on the coming off the bench and like maybe putting Bernardo Silva in the middle because
yeah,
he
I
can
agree
kind
with
of he
that.
can go anywhere.
hmm
But yeah, to your point, like why not start Savinho? He's always looking pretty bright. It's just his final product at times.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting better, but
Hmm.
definitely carries a lot more threat.
All right. Did you have any other points here before we move on?
No, I thought uh scoreline not reflective of the actual game. Um,
Yeah.
Bruges definitely deserved a bit better.
All right. So why don't we move on to the next game? Let's talk about Juve versus Benfica. Um, Benfica ended up winning 2-0. Oh, and sorry, before we move on, I will say Club Bruges and City, they ended up both moving on. Um, Club Bruges just moving on over Dynamo based on a goal differential. They were -4, whereas Dynamo was -7. So, and then Stuttgart that was my sleeper team to kind of make it in and like give some teams trouble, but they ended up getting eliminated. They lost today, um, unfortunately.
PSG and Stuttgart could have colluded and they both, for a
I
time, could
know
have both moved
exactly.
on.
Um, I honestly thought PSG might have rested their guys, but I mean, we'll get to that game, but they didn't.
hmm
So I was thinking Stuttgart would have a chance, but um, yeah. So Club Brugge and City are both moving on. City finished 22nd out of the 36 teams, and again, just a reminder, top 24 and you're safe. And then Club Brugge, they finished 24th. But let's talk about Juventus versus Benfica. The old ladies got clapped in this game, 2-0 Benfica with a dub. Man, Benfica offensively, I've been watching them in the Champions League and they look like a legit team.
Yeah, I thought this was absolutely domination
Oh, for
by
sure.
Benfica.
Hmm.
That that Palvitas striker, he takes his opportunities well, and then I'm a big fan of that midfielder, Orkhan Kokcu.
Hmm.
He grabbed a goal, but he overall he had a really good game. Um,
Yeah, and
it,
it's impressive that Benfica also made it through to into the playoffs, considering like they had a pretty tough run of fixtures in the Champions League.
who all did they play?
So they beat Juventus, the Barca game, which was epic, Monaco, who's pretty good. Um, they played Bayern, Atletico Madrid, and Feyenoord.
Oh, geez, yeah,
So those
that's a
are some
tough
tough
run.
games, yeah. Um, and then their two gimmies were that one Serbian team, Krav Kravenna or something.
Uh, okay,
Um, and then they also played Bologna, which they ended up tying.
gotcha.
But yeah, sorry, what were you saying before I interrupted you?
Yeah, I thought uh, it was just like super one-sided. Were you, I need to look at the standings, but were Juventus like comfortable in terms of like advancing already coming into this game? Because they just looked they really had like just one good chance that I can remember where I think it was Yildiz who no, it was their youngster uh I forget how to say his name, starts with the M. Um Ma Ma Mabengalu who got a header. Uh
Oh yeah,
like that was the only chance of that Juventus created, I think, like all game.
yeah, and also like Yildiz, I like him coming off the wing a little better. I know Mota's tried to play him at the 10 plenty of times, and even today he played him at the 10, but I don't know, going attack, I feel like he sometimes just almost like the Cole Palmer situation gets lost at the 10 sometimes and isn't that effective. It's definitely Cole Palmer's issue in a lot of big games, and that's what Yildiz reminds me of. But like when he comes off from the wing, he just looks so much better. I don't know. I wish Juventus kind of stick to him playing out wide.
Yeah, that suits his style. He likes to kind of stand up his man and kind of beat him for skill.
Hmm. It was odd to see both Americans playing kind of the fullback roles today, like McKinney and Weah.
That is funny. Yeah. Weah actually did pretty well defensively. McKennie, yeah, defensively McKennie, that doesn't really suit his role, but I
No.
guess that was the cards they were dealt with. Um, yeah, but Benfica, I think they might be give some. We'll have to see the draw, but could be a team that gives people trouble in a knockout round.
Yeah, and also Juventus today, they just created honestly, their own problems. Some of the mistakes, who was it? I think it was Locatelli that right before halftime, like literally just gave it right to Benfica. And I mean, it was a crazy save by the keeper, but it could have been 2-0 going into half.
Hmm.
Um, and then even that first goal, I feel like as Gatti's got to uh, somehow like clear that ball or just get his foot in.
That was a nice touch by Ba though to bring it down.
It
At
was
least,
dirty, yeah. And
um,
I'm just imagining if Benfica also like I remember the first that game against Barca, like I felt a lot of their uh chances were coming off from like the left side, especially with uh that left back Alvaro.
mhm.
I forget his name, but like especially like his technique, dude, crossing the ball is ridiculous, and even without him, definitely looked like a different. They were playing a lot more through the middle versus just like going towards the left side and crossing it in. But they still broke down Juventus and But Juventus was also creating their mistakes today.
Yeah, it was very um almost like a city where they had most of the possession but didn't didn't do much in terms of chance creation.
And speaking of Juventus kind of struggling, like they over the weekend they had a pretty big game as well.
That was epic. Randall Kolo Muani got his debut goal, and it looked all like it was gonna be a happy game for him.
Hmm.
But Napoli they turned it around.
Oh yeah. Dude, imagine if McTominay leaves and he's about to win like Serie A. I know it's still a close race, but like imagine if he does end up winning. And
And
he's
he's
been
a crucial
important.
piece, yeah.
Oh yeah, important player. Um, but were there any other takeaways from this game that you wanted to discuss?
No, I thought this would be one of the more exciting games coming into it, but it was kind of disappointing how one-sided it was.
Yeah, I agree. But Juventus are still through. Um, Again, they look poor today, but Benfica, like you said, team to keep an eye on. Um, Next, let's hop over to Barca versus Atalanta. The game ended up 2-2. Fairly late goals, all coming, four goals coming in the second half. What were your main takeaways? I'll let you start here.
Uh, I thought first half was fairly even. I might say Atalanta kind of edged it. Um, I know they had a really tight offside on Zappacosta who scored. But he was like
Dude, he was
barely
looking
off.
mad he was looking mad grandpa vibes today.
His hair was almost white.
Dude, it was crazy.
I don't know if yeah, I didn't know if it was just me, but yeah, his hair was like almost super white. Uh, I thought Lookman was a big miss for Atalanta. Um, he's
Mhm.
definitely one of their key pieces, but impressive, like even without him, how well they played. Gotta give credit to Gasparini, top manager there.
I feel like he was very innovative playing with like the two forwards today, which he usually doesn't do.
Oh, with Di Catalera and Retegui.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I thought Retegui had a really good game. Both halves. I know he grabbed a goal, but in terms of like creating chances first half, he was dropping like super deep at times, which you don't see often. Creating chances. Uh, I thought Atalanta had a very good game. Um, and this was one game where I know it's hard to criticize him because he's only 17 and I mean, he's been sensational, but at times I felt like Lamine Yamal was a bit selfish. Uh,
Hmm.
and you could see the frustrations of Rafinha.
There was one especially that I remember where he kind of cut in and he did have a shot, like he could have curled, but like it went right to the keeper's arms. For him, I would have expected him to do better, but like the better option probably would have been to slip in Lewandowski or Rafinha.
Mhm. Um, yeah, but those are my I'm a huge fan of Atalanta. I thought Lookman, if he was healthy, like Atalanta could have came away with all 3 points. Um, but it was a fairly exciting game. What'd you think of uh this match?
Yeah, I thought Atalanta coming in, like just seeing the starting lineup, I was really interested to see how much trouble they would cause Barca's back line, especially the center backs. Like we haven't really seen this pairing before, in Eric Garcia and Araujo, but like I thought they look good, and like Araujo especially, he's looked really impressive since coming back. Even if you don't consider that goal, I don't really remember him making a mistake or being positioned poorly. Um, maybe that second goal that Atalanta scored, um, there was definitely a gap between him and Kunde, but like other than that, like he looked solid today, and I thought they handled Ortegi and D Ketelaere pretty well. I do think Lookman, to your point, would have added a different element, but that was like the most interesting part of the game. I was kind of focused on is like how would those center backs handle, especially not playing a lot of minutes together.
Eric
Uh,
Garcia was one also that was rumored to be kind of out the door. He was on apparently he was on a flight to go to like Como, but then just it broke down because like he had a conversation with Hansi Flick and kind
mhm.
of changed his mind.
And another player that like comes on and always has a potential to be a super sub is Fernan Torres. I don't know what it is about him, but like uh he's always in the right spot, like in the danger zone. But like his quality, like finishing sometimes just like is lacking.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say Fermin Lopez. I'm
Mm,
slowly starting to like this player as well. He had a crazy week. Granted, they played Valencia, but 2 goals, 2 assists over the weekend. He was going crazy. But yeah, Fernan Torres, because even at when he was at City, they utilized him a lot in the false nine, and he looked pretty good. And now,
hmm.
like, he doesn't really get to start much, but when he does play, he gets to play in his preferred position, and he looks good at times. But
Yeah, especially with like Hansi Flick, where like players are almost positionless, like in his system. Like he can definitely like play that preferred number 9 role, but also like drop a little deeper. And that's something Lewandowski's really impressed me with as well. Just like especially today when I was watching him, like I mean he's been doing it all season, and I think he's had to adapt his game because he's pretty old now. But like he used to always just sit at the edge of the line, uh, relied so much on service, but like now he's almost adapted to like Harry Kane type playing style where he drops super deep, like at times almost at the halfway line.
yeah, I would say Harry Kane still has the better like passing ability, but yeah, in terms of
Hmm.
their style, um, he's kind of he's kind of been forced to sacrifice to change his style of play. I will
What's
say
your
Barca got um they didn't get lucky, but it worked out that they were playing like a Atalanta team that was missing Lookman because without Lookman, Atalanta on the attack, they don't have as much pace. Because Barca do play like a super high line, which
Mhm.
gets them caught out quite often. Um, but Atalanta, they just don't have the players with like that crazy pace to get in behind. So Barca, I think they got a good matchup, like a matchup in their favor with Atalanta.
Yeah, that first goal by Ederson was crazy.
Oh, that was class. Yeah, that was class.
What do you think about him? I know he's been linked to like a lot of big moves, and I feel like this has kind of been his uh his like breakout year.
Yeah, because I remember it was that Champions League match early versus Arsenal where he caught my eye, and I was like, this is definitely going to be a player I'm going to keep my eye on.
Hmm.
Um, and he continues to impress me, but I don't think the winter transfer he'll get a big move just because he is such a crucial piece to Atalanta, who's I'd say they're still kind of in a title race for Serie A, not
Oh,
too
for
far
sure.
off.
Yep.
So I don't think they would want to let him go, but I could definitely see him getting a move in the summer.
Yeah, he's got some class to him. I could see him going to like a team in La Liga or something.
Yeah, that would suit him.
Um, but yeah, that was didn't really have any other thoughts. I thought both these teams I was excited to see play against each other considering both were ranked fairly high. Um, in the table, and especially for Atalanta, I think it meant a little more to try to get the playoff bye. And I mean, honestly, that's a huge advantage to avoid the playoffs. Like you don't have to play two additional games.
Yeah.
But they just missed out on that spot. So now we can move on to the last game uh, that we wanted to touch on today, which is PSG versus Stuttgart. G won 4-1 pretty easily today against Stuttgart. We thought it would be a much closer game. Uh, thought maybe PSG would rest some players, but they did not. And they dominated 4-1. It wasn't even close. So, Narv, I'll let you take it away here first with your main takeaways.
Um, so main takeaways, that kid Bradley Barcola, he's
Dude,
something special. Um,
I know Dembele is probably going to get all the headlines, but
yeah.
honestly, I thought he was the best player.
Yeah, Barcola, I don't know, that Vitra transfer is so weird. I don't know how it's gonna work out because Barcola, like, I feel like he should be cemented at that left wing spot. Um,
Do you know
he's
why he wears number 29?
uh-uh
It's crazy. It's because so you know how he's like pretty young. Like how old is he?
22.
22. Okay, yeah. So he when he played FIFA, he loved to do story mode with Alex Hunter,
Uh-huh.
and he would like play that story mode all the time. And he said, I want to be like Alex Hunter. Like when I go pro, I'm gonna wear the number 29. So that's why he's
Oh, no
wearing it now.
way.
Yeah.
That Alex Hunter storyline's crazy. That's basically somehow scripted for Jude Bellingham. It's wild. Uh, yeah, Barcola, he was just crazy game. But yeah, I'll give credit to Dembele too. I mean, hat trick and uh one of his goals tap in from a really good cross by
hmm
Barcola, but his other two finishes were insane. And I think that's what we talked about when we talk about Dembele is like if he stays injury free, and like is consistent with his final product, like he can be one of the
hmm
most dangerous players that you'll see. Um, and so that's what we saw today. Like those, especially that third finish was absolute class. Um, Starts it off with the flick, Megan the player, and then gets it back top shelf on the first touch, like class.
Oh yeah, completely agree. I thought those two guys were standout players. And yeah, Stuttgart was just honestly really disappointing today. I thought in the first half, especially, like I don't, Stuttgart just didn't even seem to like want to show up and play. Like it was absolute like total domination. So I was really disappointed. And even like the goal was they just nicked it at the end, but they just didn't seem like they were ready to come out and play today.
Yeah, and they were. It felt like PSG were the home team.
Oh yeah. And another player that like has stuck out to me, um, especially in this Champions League run, has been João Neves, midfielder for PSG. I can't believe he's just 20. Like the way he's carries the ball, but like also defensively, he's pretty solid. Like wins all his duels. Um, but then he's super like he doesn't waste passes either.
Mhm.
Um, I like that player a lot.
And when you first look at him, like you don't think he has the physical attributes because he is like one of the smallest players every game, but like
Hmm.
very tenacious and usually always wins his duels. Um, I think the only positive Stuttgart can take away though is their goalkeeper, probably with like save of the season, um, on Desiree Doué. That was insane.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and that's another player that I kind of like for PSG that uh for the inverted 10 rolls, like I know
Hmm.
that's gonna be impossible, but Desiree Doué, um, there's another player in the league on that I kind of want to return to Man United. Uh, Angel Gomez. I don't know if we have a buyback
Mm.
clause on him, but I think he'd be a nice fit. Uh, but Desiree Doué, I like him too. Um, I thought he had a really good game. Crazy, he's only 19.
Oh, is he?
Hmm.
Jeez. Dude, it's like the French team. They've ever since that World Cup, I feel like or I guess those past Euros was like they kind of really struggled, and a lot of like young players now are starting to emerge from like the French scene.
Yeah, the craziest is the kid for Liel. He got an assist today, crazy pass, but Ayub Bawadi, I didn't realize he's only 17. And he was running that midfield today. Um,
Damn.
and he like to your point, this kid he's French too. So France has a lot of like young
Young.
bucks on the
Hmm.
come up. Barcola, another one.
Yeah, Barcola, I'm most excited about him. Um, it'll be interesting to see how France try to accommodate him and Mbappe.
Yeah, because they both prefer the left wing.
Hmm. And I mean, you got Dembele too on the right,
Hmm.
or
That's
potentially down the middle.
that's a scary trio.
Oh yeah.
But I hope Vicha like just because they spent so much money on him just doesn't come and solidify that left wing spot. Like they let Barcola fight for that spot because I can't see Barcola playing down the middle.
Hmm.
Um, and I can't see Vicha playing down the middle, but one of them will have to sacrifice, I think. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the weekend wasn't like a representative, but looked like Barcola was coming off the bench. Vicha did have a pretty good. He played for like an hour against Reims. Had an assist too to Dembele, but he had a pretty good cameo. Um, so it's gonna be a tough battle there for that position.
And the last point I had on this game, I gave this game um a closer look at one player for Stuttgart just because a lot of the United fan base want him. And I didn't really know much about the player, so I was giving him a close eye, but he didn't. I mean, it's just one game and it is against PSG, but I don't know. He didn't impress me that much this game was Angelo Stiller.
Defensive
Played,
midfielder.
yeah.
Hmm.
I know a lot of United fan base who really are high on him. So I was trying to give a closer look at him. So this might have been a game where it's unfair judgment, but
Yeah, he I don't know if you guys need a player like him though with Ugarte.
are they similar profile?
Similar, yeah. I
Yeah.
will say he's probably like a better passer of the ball.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. I like Ugarte at United. And definitely the two of them playing together wouldn't,
Not Joe.
yeah, wouldn't look good together.
Gotcha. Were there any other takeaways from this game, or were there any other games that you wanted to touch on?
No, unfortunately, with like 18 games today, I wasn't able to like, had to miss a lot of them, but those are the main games that I was able to kind of focus on.
So now that I guess I don't even know what you call this, but like the group phase, like
Hmm.
what? what are your thoughts on the Champions League formatting so far? Are you a fan, or you still think there's like some tweaks that sh be made?
I don't know. I like it a lot, considering that you get to see, you don't see like groups of deaths, and those were always unfortunate. You'd have unbelievably hard groups, but then in the same tournament, you'd have like a group that was incredibly easy.
Hmm.
And so like the ultimate like final 16, you'd have a few like teams that were undeserving to be in there, and then you'd have teams that were very much so deserving that were excluded. So I think it eliminates that factor, which I like. And I also like to see just the mix of different games. You're not playing the same team twice. I mean, that's what the Champions League is about, is bringing the best teams across Europe. So, but then also like you get to see some of these smaller teams now have a chance, or like, they're not just in the group game phase. Like, um, they actually get to go to like a legit like knockout type format of games.
Yeah.
And teams that typically in the past wouldn't have, like, like PSV or Leo or Sporting, even Celtic, Brest. Like, so it's exciting to see some of those smaller teams get representation.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. At times I'm still a little old school, like, but I feel like you gotta move past it
Hmm.
at some point. Uh,
I mean, there's still some luck into it in terms of
so, mhm.
the initial game, 8 games. Like, not everyone plays the same exact teams, obviously, but like
So how does
it's
that get
better.
decided?
It was like a random draw.
Dang, so Benfica just got unlucky with their draws. Um,
But if you think, like, a lot of teams had like big games, like even City, um, or like any of the teams, like, yeah. So if we look at City, for example,
Mhm.
um, let's see. If I look at their games, in the Champions League, they played obviously PSG, they played Club Brugge, um, Juventus, Feyenoord, Sporting, Inter, and then their two like throwaway games were, okay. I guess City did have it a little easier. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I mean, it makes it a little more fair. Let's look at Real Madrid, for example. They had Stuttgart, which was kind of tough game. Dortmund, Milan, Liverpool, Atalanta, Dortmund, um, and then their throwaway games were Brest and Salzburg.
Yeah, that is a little tricky.
I think it just makes it a little more fair.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
it
honestly
is.
think Barca had the easiest of draws. They had Young Boys, or they had Monaco first, decent, but then and that was their only loss too, was to Monaco. And then they had Young Boys, Bayern, that Serbian team, Brest, Dortmund, Benfica, Atalanta.
Yeah, it seems like their last two were like the only really tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Friday we'll you'll have to post on like our Instagram page of like the draw, like the matchups.
Hmm.
Um, but
But then,
it is crazy city. They're getting they're getting rewarded by getting drawn to either play Real Madrid or Bayern Munich.
oh yeah, we'll have to do our predictions too.
Hmm.
Once the drawing is finished Friday
Yeah.
morning. Um,
So who would you say through this group phase? I guess it's like I have a few quick rapid fire questions for you.
okay.
Who would you say was the most disappointing or like underperforming team?
Disappointing team. I would say probably yeah, just Man City. This whole year they've been pretty disappointing.
Hmm.
So I think it just wasn't. expected given like their history recently.
Yeah. I'd
What about you?
say I'd say underperforming for sure, City.
Hmm.
But I'd also this is the reason I think the good and bad Champions League is because I think the disappointing also is Leipzig. Because they're usually always a team that like gets through into the knockout phase.
Hmm.
And that's the luck of like the group draws before. Because sometimes they were kind of like in easier groups at times, so like they get advanced, but now playing the big boys, they only had one win throughout this phase.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean even look at like Real Madrid, they're still making it to the knockout, but they had some big losses. They lost to Lille, they lost to Milan, they lost to Liverpool, um, and even Atalanta gave a run for their money, and they should have lost that game.
Yeah. Because in the old format, if you lose three, it's
You're
kind of
praying.
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So second question, apart from Liverpool, who would you say is the best? I know we'll have to wait for matchups, but who would you say is the best team or had the best shot at a final?
Of winning it right now.
Yeah, apart from Liverpool.
Uh, I'm gonna say PSG. Um, my reasoning is I think Barca would be an easy answer, but I feel like they've gotten a little lucky this Champions League, and a better team is gonna expose them. Um, but PSG, yeah, they're in the middle of the table, but I think that I think they're better than they have showed. And also just like with the league, they're kind of running away with it, and then just the depth they have too.
That's a good pick. Um, I think PSG kind of struggled early in the Champions League too versus
Hmm.
later. Um, yeah, but I think I'll have to say either Inter Milan or Atalanta. I've been a huge fan of Atalanta this year, but Inter
Mm.
Milan too. I think they're a team that no one's gonna want to face. I think
Oh,
they
for
have
sure.
I think they got one of the best managers in this Champions League.
Oh yeah. And even I would say like front to back, like they have some like solid players. Like that back line um is like it might be one of the best in the world right now.
Yeah.
Pavard, Bastoni, and DeVerge.
hmm And then
In the
that
wingback pairing.
oh yeah, that's crazy too. And that man Lautaro Martinez, he had a really slow start to the season, but like past like month maybe he's been picking up like crazy fire. Hat trick today, so that's scary scenes to see Martinez once he starts contributing too. So
And then who's been your who's been like a standout player for you so far in the Champions League?
um standout player, I'd have to say for Liel, uh
Mm.
Angel Gomez, I think he's matured a lot. Huge fan, but I think Jonathan David. I think before I kind of saw him as like a myth, just always getting Twitter shots from Fabrizio, but like right now he's looking like the real deal, clinical, whenever he gets a chance. What about
Mm.
you?
My man, it's a tough one. I would say, man, I don't know. I feel like the easy answer would be to go with like Van Dyke. Um, just considering like how dominant Liverpool's been.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like a big part of that is with Van Dyke, especially like with him, they've only conceded one goal. Or I guess today that doesn't really count. I'm gonna throw that game away against PSV, but the only goal they've let in was that one against Leo.
Hmm.
So
Man.
I'm gonna go with Van Dijk. Just Liverpool just looks way too dominant.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Any other games or rapid fire questions?
I think that's all I got for Champions League.
All right, yeah, we gotta wait till Friday now for the drawing.
Oh
Bright and early,
yeah,
6 a.m., buddy.
I'll be on that watch. So just like with this draw happening, it'll be impossible for uh Liverpool and Barcelona to meet until the final, right? That's
Yeah,
the only way they could. Okay,
correct. Yep.
got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how this drawing works for the playoff, but like, so I think it's like split between the top half of the playoff teams and then the
Mhm.
bottom half of the playoff teams. And then
Gotcha.
they get matched up with like the bottom with the top.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's starting to grow on me, but it'll be interesting.
Dude, it makes it a lot more fair. I enjoy it. And then you just get to see a wide variety of games too, or
Yeah,
matchups.
yeah, that is true. So it's a more fair assessment you can give for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Young Boys or Salzburg, but imagine in the old group, you get a group of, which is very realistic. You could get Club Brugge, Salzburg, and Young Boys. Imagine having to watch 6 games of those guys. No one's
Yeah.
watching that.
Yeah, that's GG for whoever the fourth team. Yeah. Fair point. So you want to move on to what do you want to move on to? Transfer rumors?
Yeah, let's do that. I saw that you guys signed another left back. Is that right?
Yeah, from
What's his name?
Lecce, Patrick Drogu.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching some of his he offense like on attack, he looks pretty saucy, but like defensively, he looks very sus.
He looks a little shaky.
A
I ain't gonna
little.
cap. Uh, yeah. Attacking wise, it will be a lot less painful watching him on that left side instead of Dallo.
Hmm.
But yeah, defensively, I think he'll need a little bit of help improve his game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but the upside is he is only 20, so he has plenty of time to develop.
Oh wow. And then of course we talked about John Duran.
Yeah, I saw Al Nasser. They were originally after Victor Boniface, and then now after John Duran. Um, you think, I don't know. I feel like, is it the like it's hard to just comprehend why a player would want to go to Saudi. Like, is it really just because of the money?
Uh,
That has to be right.
Yeah, it has to be.
Like, wouldn't your like dream to be like playing a Champions
Yeah,
League
especially for someone
final?
like Duran, like who has the potential to be like such a big name at such a young age.
Because we've been talking about Duran like getting a big transfer move. We just didn't think it'd be Saudi. We thought it'd be like a top team.
Yeah. Um, should we talk about another United player that's out on loan now?
Oh, thank goodness. Casemiro?
Oh, is he gone? I was thinking of Anthony. Can't disrespect the GOAT.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Uh, I might have to give Real Betis a little look at the Conference League now. Their attack might be kind of nice if Anthony can revitalize his career
Oh yeah.
with Isco right behind him. Ooh, it might be kind of fire. I will say though, I kind of will miss Anthony playing at the because he under Amarin he would be willing to sacrifice to play that wingback role, and he would be kind of nice at times.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, it would be nice for Real Betis because we're relying so heavily, heavily on Isco to create everything, like you said.
Oh yeah. You want to speak about Heavenly?
What's heavenly?
Um, we hijacked another Arsenal youngster, um, Aiden Heaven, from Arsenal. Uh, we got him at United, and apparently Amarin said right away, uh, that he's going to be part of our plans and provide competition to Lissandro Martinez.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so he'll be a nice player to have. I think maybe
Mm-hmm.
it'll take him like 2, 3 years to develop, but finally have another left-footed center back. Um,
Mm.
I was a little nervous with him because we played Arsenal in the preseason and he was getting schooled by Hoyland. But it was a learning experience for him. But he's a midfielder by trade who got converted to a center back. So his ball playing capabilities are like crazy. Um,
Mm.
but de defensively, he still needs a
Shaky.
little, yeah.
Yeah, I will say like in terms of like you guys, I feel like still need a proper striker. I think Hoyland's got to go, bro.
Yeah, or just he's got to learn under someone like I feel like Gyökeres, I think get tempted. Um, re
Mm.
like
Reunite.
yeah,
And he's definitely been dropped at Sporting a few times now
yeah, I saw that.
in
I
the
don't
lineup.
know what that was due to,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
or
Um,
I think like with the Victor Boniface rumors and seeming like because of his injuries, Patrick Schick fitting back in. Like I don't know. I feel like Victor Boniface could be a nice fit for us.
that's true, yeah. He's looked good for Leverkusen every time he plays.
Hmm.
Um, but I think so in the Premier League there's been I feel like a lot of transfers too, but like not huge names. Did we talk about Trevor Chalobah coming back to Chelsea? I think we
Yeah,
did, right?
dropped a masterclass.
Yeah, he's been one of our bright players. But City, we've talked about their, I guess, two big transfers. Southampton are trying to get rid of their curse. They sold Ben Diaz,
Oh, thank
Chilean.
goodness.
um,
He's never seen a W, right? When he plays.
when he starts,
Oh, when he
or no,
starts.
I think when he plays, yeah, whenever he
Okay.
plays, like makes an appearance. Talked about Anthony, a defender for Villa, Diego Carlos. He's out now. Fenerbahce.
Oh, WWE star.
Yep. So he'll be with Jose.
Oh, crazy.
And I think they needed a defender pretty bad.
Hmm.
Um, I think they had some injuries there, but so Yunchu's, I guess he's been. I haven't watched him really except Europa League, but sounds like he's been a little revitalized at Fenerbahce.
Wow, they got two WWE superstars.
Um, and then a big one of your boys that you're high on, got to move from a Premier League team to another Premier League team. Julio Asensio.
Oh, no, I did
Enciso.
not hear this.
Take a guess what Premier League team he's moving to.
Ah, don't tell me it's a struggling side. Are they a
I
struggling side?
No, but like we said this team needed some creativity when we did the transfers.
West Ham?
No, they're a fun team,
Uh,
but struggling a little, but like they have a chance.
Wolves?
Ipswich.
Oh,
I think he's gonna
he
go into
might
that
be
starting lineup.
cooking.
Yeah. I could see
Oh,
him being in the starting
wow.
lineup.
Yeah, he's gonna be cooking.
Um, and then another one is
Sorry, that Enciso is permanent.
correct, yep.
Okay.
And then Kyle Walker. I feel like that one everyone saw coming though.
Yeah.
Um, no, and Cecil, I'm sorry, he's not permanent. He's on loan.
Okay.
Um, and then Kyle Walker, I forget how much he went for. Um, and then another player on loan is from Brentford. This one kind of surprised me considering he's been playing a lot. He's out on loan to Wolfsburg, but Brentford's right back, uh, Rolsver or Rolserv.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, he's on
He's
loan.
consistent too.
Or Roslev. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then another Chelsea player that is out is Renato Vega.
To
He went
Juve.
to yeah, he went to Juve. So I forget how much we're getting for him, but he's just on loan as
Mhm.
well. Um, and then I think the only other relatively big one that I saw was um from Villa on loan is Bendia. He's going to Leverkusen on loan.
Interesting. Is I assume Renato Vega is alone.
Correct. Yep. He's a loan.
Okay. Yeah, Bundy, I thought they should let him go permanent. I feel like they haven't really utilized him as much. Um,
Oh yeah, I agree.
I saw rumors of like Axel Disasi to Villa. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
I
if
think it
that's
was like
developed.
for a good chunk of change too. I think apparently Unai had like personal conversations with him.
Hmm.
Um and it sounds like he wants him pretty bad.
Oh wow.
It hasn't been confirmed yet though, but it was I think up to like 30 or 40 mil for a defender. Crazy.
For his form too. Uh,
Like I like Disasi, but dude, I hate hurts watching him play right back.
yeah, gives you heart attacks.
But West Ham are going pretty hard this last week after a striker from PSV. I'm happy, but Ricardo Pepe, American striker,
Ooh.
I feel like he's super underrated for PSV. Every time he plays, he looks solid.
Mm. I saw speaking of strikers, I saw uh Brighton, they said that they're willing to let go of Evan Ferguson permanently. Um,
Ooh,
and so there's some clubs after him, Leverkusen being one, but then also apparently Arsenal might be tracking him.
ooh, that would be huge for Arsenal. They need some because he doesn't fit like a same profile as another striker they currently have. Even if he doesn't have the same he's not like a top striker and like definitely has a lot to improve on. He definitely
Mhm.
has a different profile.
Yeah. But with all the like rumors going of like if John Duran does leave though, I feel like Villa can't let go of Ollie Watkins to Arsenal now if
Mm.
Durant's happened. But it would have been crazy to see Ollie Watkins go to Arsenal because he was a boyhood fan of Arsenal.
Oh, was he?
Uh-huh. Even
Dang.
though he like always scores against them. Did you see the biggest transfer though?
No.
Or I don't think it's even that big anymore, but uh Neymar back to Santos.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Dude, that made me kind of emotional. I was like, bro, he's back to his home.
But apparently crazy conspiracies happening is they're only signing him for 5 months because they want him to play European football again because he wants to basically solidify his spot in the Brazil squad in the World Cup.
Oh, interesting.
So there's
Gotcha.
conspiracies that he might make a Barca return after Santos.
Ooh. Dude, Neymar just like him at Santos, like all the memories he's like given to fo soccer fans, and like it's like I feel like he is better than Ronaldinho, but like I don't know why. I have a feeling though, a few years time, like his legacy, he just people are not gonna think of him like people do of Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Neymar, he was different gravy. It's just um
He's one of the best to ever play, I feel like.
he was very unfortunate. He was in the time of Messi and Ronaldo.
Hmm.
Um and was still at Barca when Messi was somewhat at his peaks. Uh but yeah, that's crazy news.
Yeah, and
Um
I think he gave up a big chunk of his contract too, right? Like he just forfeited 30 mil or something.
hmm He did collect the bag though when he was at Saudi for only playing like two
Barely
games.
playing.
Yeah, fleeced
Yeah.
them. Props to him though.
Yeah, I was watching some of his rehab videos, and a lot of like sports therapists and stuff were clowning whoever is helping him recover because they're like, dude, the workouts he's making him do is like just terrible and not like
Oh, really?
yeah, gonna get. And I was like, wow, that's crazy that like someone at his caliber
Uh-huh.
has like clowns like that around him.
Oh, wow. That's wild. Um, yeah, so transfers, I think the window, when are they open until? I think the 3rd of February is like the deadline. Um,
I thought it was a little longer. I thought there was like 6 more days left.
oh, you might be right.
Oh, that is 6 days. I'm an idiot. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. Idiot. Yeah, so I know like you gave me that one book, where it's like the agent, how to be a
Yeah.
football agent. So for listeners, like transfers, there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on. So yeah, it seems like there's not a lot of transfers happening, but these stuff do take a lot of time because there's a lot of behind the scenes that us fans don't know about. There's a lot of agreements that have to be made, like from club's end, players' end, and then like just the paperwork. Like that book is crazy. Just like all the behind the scenes, but for a transfer, like it's not simple at all.
And it's not just like, okay, we'll pay him 20 mil. It's like, no, well, if he scores X amount of goals, we want X more money. Or if, uh, even the players and they have requests like, um, in terms of like they need a certain accommodations or like housing and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so much detail. Um,
But it makes it all interesting and fun.
and crazy part is like if you watch documentaries like these all or nothing type documentaries on transfer deadline days, like when they're stressing like literally to the last
At the
minute,
buzzer,
yeah,
yeah.
to get it done. Um, but it'll be exciting. Are there any are there any talks of Chelsea signing anyone?
It's been pretty quiet, so I haven't really heard anything.
Sorry, I did hear another outgoing rumor from Chelsea is João Felix to Villa. Um,
I haven't seen that yet. Those are rumors. But he does deserve a lot of more playing time. He's quality.
mhm. Um, um, so you want to move on to is it FA Cup this weekend or I think it's the next? You want to
I think
move
it's
on
the
to the
following.
okay. You want to move on to Premier League games from this coming weekend?
Yeah, that works with me.
Alrighty.
The big games, I'll just touch on like the Premier League games. Um, Unfortunately, again, Chelsea plays on a Monday.
I feel like that's
Uh,
always the case for
Dude, it's
Chelsea.
so aggravating, but we play West Ham uh Monday afternoon. But yeah, first game on of this weekend is Nottingham versus Brighton. So that should be an entertaining one. Both in decent form. Um, well, Nottingham's dropped a few now, but we'll see. Maybe I think it's just kind of a blip right now. especially that clapping with Bournemouth. But I think the game of the day is that 10 o'clock window, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. That's going to be exciting game, exciting one to watch. And then we have Leicester Everton. It's an important one in terms of relegation. And then we have Ipswich Southampton. Southampton is basically gone. So Ipswich, this is a huge game to grab some points and maybe move out of that relegation battle. Um, and then Newcastle versus Fulham as well. Newcastle, they lost to Bournemouth 4-1, but again, they've been in really good form aside from that game. And
Bournemouth's
Fulham,
been
we'll
on
see.
Bournemouth's been on a rampage of just clapping teams
Dude, they've
recently.
been they've been ridiculous this year.
Cliver, he's looking crazy.
Transformed. Um, they've beat all the big six uh teams, I think. I'm not sure how they did against Liverpool the first time, but I mean, they beat City 2-1. They beat y'all 3-0. They beat Tot. Do we consider Tottenham a big six side
Mm,
still? Like,
I don't know.
but the one team that hasn't, and they beat Arsenal 2-0.
Chelsea.
Chelsea up
Chelsea.
the Chelsea. Yeah, we tied. And then that afternoon, the late window is Villa versus Wolves. Wolves have been looking pretty poor. Um, I expect Villa to win that one. Um, if depending on the betting market, I think I'm gonna put some money on Villa there. And then if we move to Sunday, this one's gonna be interesting. Brentford versus Tottenham.
Oh,
Uh, that'll be an interesting one. And then United play Palace, and then the afternoon game of the day, Arsenal versus City.
that's a fire matchup.
Hmm.
City,
They can
un
close the gap
uncomfortable conversations if City somehow finish above Arsenal this year.
for sure. Yeah. Especially like there were even talks about like, dude, Pep should get sacked and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I mean, it was technically a sackable offense, but uh they can't sack Pep.
Yeah. But it is crazy how much money they've spent and struggling though.
Hmm. Yeah, and then this Brentford Tottenham, I haven't seen any rumors on the Ange situation. It seems like he'll stay, but Tottenham, for listeners, they've been on one of the coldest streaks right now, so dangerous times. And Brentford, they're scary at home.
Oh yeah. And Tottenham, they're sitting at what, like 15th? Yeah. Insane. Um, they're literally just 8 points above relegation.
Hmm.
But I'm excited about that game just because um both teams are pretty high in terms of creating chances, so I could see a few goals and they're both also somewhat leaky at the back.
Hmm. Yep.
So another betting tip, 4 goals that game, at least.
Oh, guaranteed for sure. And then, yep, you guys got West Ham Monday. It'll be Graham Potter seeking revenge. Um, Around the league Saturday, not much going on. Um, I think the McDonald's League is the only good matchup. They got Brest versus PSG. And then Sunday, we got I'll be tuning in at 12 as well, watching AC Milan versus Inter Milan.
Mm.
Um, Listeners, they literally play in the same stadium, so I don't know who's technically like the home team. And then 2:45 Roma versus Napoli. Uh, and then 3 o'clock I'll be tuning in to watch Anthony's debut, hopefully Real Betis taking on Athletic Club. Uh, Kind of a fire matchup there. And
You're
My
watching that over the Marseille boys?
no, I'll be watching my Marseille boys taking on Lyon. Disappointing loss last week, painful, but I think that's only their second away loss this year. Um, and then Monday, Chelsea play West Ham, but also a really big game in the English Championship, Middlesbrough versus Sunderland. Sunderland, they've been out of the Premier League for so long, but they're kind of
Ooh.
in touch and distance of the automatic promotion spot. So those are all the games.
Yeah, I watched dude, I wasted time watching Burnley versus Leeds. I know I mentioned it on the podcast. I am so sorry for those that potentially watched that game as well. Absolute horror. 0-0. Um, it seemed like the teams colluded to like both play poorly and just like settle for a point. Um, like I think the XG was 0 for that game.
Oh, that's terrible. Because
It
usually
was,
the championship games are like insane in terms of like chances creation.
dude, and that was a late Monday night game, so I was like, oh, under the lights and everything, but it was
Oh, that's
terrible.
rough. Yeah, that's rough. Um, and then quick question for you in terms of all these transfers. So I know one player who's been rumored to get a big move is Tyler Dibbling. So if you're in Southampton shoes, do you keep him? Because they're guaranteed relegation. Do you keep him until the summer, or do you just sell him now? Because I think you could get a really good fee for him now.
Yeah, I feel like you got to sell him while his stocks are high right now.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of big teams that could use someone like him. I think Tottenham can definitely upgrade, get him. I think United would be a great fit. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that could get him, just even within the Premier League.
Mhm. Yep.
And
So
he's an English guy, so he'll probably want to stay in Premier League.
yeah,
Just
because he wanted to stay at Southampton originally because he was like homesick. So um,
Hmm.
yeah, we'll see where he goes too. So that's been another episode. Um, did a roundup and transfer rumors. I'm sure next week we'll do another Premier League recap as well as updating you all on any additional transfers that happen in the Premier League and around the world.
And before signing off, Narv, what's we'll have to wait till we see like the betting odds and stuff as they get closer, but what's maybe one bet that you would put in this weekend that you think will hit? Mine, again, we'll have to wait for the line to open up. Let me open up Bet365. Bet365, if you want to sponsor us, let us know. Um, but let me open up. I think I'll probably put like something for the Tottenham Brentford game in terms of goals. I'll probably go over 3.5 goals, so that's at -110. Um, so if you put in a buck, you can get buck 90, or 100, you get 190. So what's something that you would put a bet on happening this weekend?
I'll say Arsenal City game, both teams to score. Um,
Ooh,
that should hit.
both teams to score. Okay. Yeah, that's -150. Let's parlay that. See what
Out the,
happens.
yep. So don't listeners, if you have gambling issues, please get help. But those are our those are going to be our betting odds, at least. We'll see how those turns out. But thank you all for listening to another episode. Until next time, peace out.
Peace.